Hi, this is Nathan. Welcome to the Wad Fam Chalk Pod.
Hi, this is Andrew Sabo, and I'd like you to join us for a time of humor, analysis, and all kinds of other fun stuff. Are you ready? Well, let's go for another Wad Fam Chalk Pod.
Hello and welcome to the Wad Fam Chalk Pod. I'm Dylan Weaver.
And I'm Andrew Sabo.
And as guest season continues, we are joined by yet another. You may know him from YouTube.
Hi, Isaac Zimmerman.
Present and accounted for.
Yep, he's here, folks. We know the demand has been high, so
yes.
we found a person. I don't know.
No.
That really couldn't land the plane on that. Andrew found a person.
Isaac came to me. Isaac is of great passion in Odyssey. Mm-hmm. He has earned his stripes. He has many badges of Adventures in Odyssey knowledge.
Stripes and badges, Andrew?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
well decorated. I mean, How many years have you served under Wit?
I have a Purple Heart. Mr.
Yes.
Whitaker gave it to me personally.
Oh. Is that in the Room of Consequence?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Wonder what that means.
So...
It's going great.
This is really good.
So Isaac, if you don't mind, give us a little background on your history with Adventures in Odyssey, any color as to who you are, if you have connection to what we're doing here, what that is. The floor is yours for a bit.
I mind. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
All right, so we're moving on. Andrew, I'm going to roll the promo now?
Yes, sounds great. Let's skip cast.
All right, so my name's Isaac Zimmerman. I, very similar to you guys, kind of grew up with Adventures in Odyssey, listening to it from a very young age, raised in a Christian home. And I had so many Odysseys that I got from the church library. Mm-hmm. I think my first experience with Odyssey was probably actually the VHS cartoon. That's
how I know you've done your time.
One of my earliest memories was that.
And you kept coming back after that.
Okay, yes, I know. But I know distinctly around that time I listened to the audio radio show, but I always heard it through the CDs. So we were just talking before the show. I didn't even know till recently they were on cassette. I guess I could have assumed they were on cassette, but I always listened to the 4-disc CD packets. And
it's classic.
Yeah.
Three episodes per CD.
Exactly.
That's all you could ever need.
Going to his rich church with CDs.
I know.
We had some CDs.
We were not wealthy.
We did.
To be fair, I had a VHS player till I was 9 years old. So
wow, that's specific.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, yes, so I listened to it quite a bit, and my whole family got into it. We'd go on road trips and stuff because we have family kind of spread out across the country, and so I remember, we'd go on these big 10-hour road trips, and we'd bring a ton of Odyssey. And my personal favorites you've already done, the Novacom saga, Darkness Before Dawn, or Darkness at Dawn. I'm not a real fan. I don't know what the word in between
You're
is.
fine.
Okay. And... So yeah, I've loved those growing up, and I always, when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. I didn't just want to pretend in movies and TV shows and audio format like that, but I was like, I want to be in this. And so I think probably Adventures in Odyssey might have been one of the first things that inspired me to pursue acting. My first acting role was voiceover. I did voiceover for a commercial for a friend. Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool.
Dad needed somebody to do a commercial, and they ran a TV company, so they had a studio in their house. And he's like, "Can you come in and just do voiceover?"
Say words.
And I think I was only 10 or 11 at that time. Yeah, it was great. And so I pursued film. And I have an associate's degree in film. I went to community college for film. So I have, sound engineering, and video editing, stuff like that. But I really felt God called me to youth ministry. So now, this is how I know Andrew.
Yes.
I am at Lancaster Bible
Do you
College
know
with
Andrew?
him. For youth ministry. So that's where I landed. But you guys, I was told about this podcast, and I had not listened to Odyssey in years. And I listened to an episode, and then I pulled up the original Adventures in Odyssey theme song, and I'm not making this up. I cried in my dorm room for 20 minutes because the nostalgia hit me so hard that I was like, oh, a simpler
This is
time.
a safe space for that.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, that my childhood is back.
Yeah. I've got like taxes now.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Hi there.
I used to wake up like this. Yeah, this was the sole thing that brought me joy for several summer days. Like,
So yeah, you guys really kind of reinvigorated me back into Odyssey. I went home over break and I got a bunch of the CDs, and so then I listened to them, and then I joined the Adventures in Odyssey Club, and so I could listen to
all of
the
them.
episodes. Yeah,
but it is nice. I mean,
yeah.
to have access. I will
So
say.
yeah, but
better
I
than the
actually
stack of CDs.
I distinctly remember this episode actually. So I was like,
yeah.
when we
Oh,
brought this, I was like, I remember this one, so I can
Oh, yeah.
maybe talk to it a little bit more.
This is a
in
classic.
detail. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an Andrew pick disguised in a guest episode.
What do you mean? I think you might. I'm
I'm
pretty sure Isaac brought it up, but I haven't mentioned this for literally like a year and a half.
Yeah,
probably.
Andrew's been pitching this arguably since day one.
Yeah. No, it's a
And
classic.
fair enough.
I'm a big fan of Do or Die. As a body conscious elementary schooler, this one really got me. It's like if Wit can do it, I can do it. You know?
This is exactly how the conversation went. I went, what episode do you want to do? I don't know, man. Whatever you want to do. Okay. I said, you guys don't have any back catalog? Nah, whatever you want to do. And so then I looked up the best episodes, and this was like up there. And you were like, and I presented like another one or whatever. And you're like, Do or Die, we can do that one.
Yeah,
And I was
yes. I was like,
okay.
I like Do or
All
Die.
right,
Yes,
all right.
yes, please.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I'll get a couple. Well, and I didn't know, like, because sometimes you've suggested episodes for guests in the past. Like,
Correct.
ones that I
Usually, well, exclusively up till now, I've been in charge of guest booking.
Yes.
So this is a fun role reversal.
See what you get when you let me in charge? You get Do or Die it.
Hey, I am not complaining.
Yeah.
In case you guys haven't picked up on it yet, we're talking about episode 513, Do or Die It.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Dylan, do you have previous experience with this episode? Yes.
I do. I remember it well enough. Just because it comes in that beautiful window that is so close to my heart of post Novacom pre-album 50, which is kind of my golden era we've talked about
as it
before. But like it is on the In Hot Pursuit album. It's like the first track on that album, which is the end of the Connie Mitch arc.
Yes.
So it's near and dear to my heart for that reason. Just meaning that like it was one that I listened to a bunch because I listened to that album a bunch and it was there. I do like the episode. I am not coming in with some hot take that this episode is bad. It has a 97% on the wiki for a reason. Is that too high? I would maybe argue yes, but
75 people voted, though.
I know. That is...
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big vote for the wiki.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm mostly in favor of this episode, and I do have some nostalgic attachment to it. Though it's not like one of my bucket list episodes or whatever.
Can't relate. Couldn't be me.
I think it's in the middle for me. I think when I was looking, I was like, you guys have done all like my top tier episodes.
Except for Search for Wit, which is like placed on a holy grail.
All right,
Everybody wants to do Search for Wit.
I said that too.
Every person who has history with it, like this is like our. When we do this, then we quit.
Yeah.
It feels like at this
Yeah,
point.
I brought that up to Andrew and he was like, no,
I can't.
no, you cannot do the Search for Wit. I was like, oh, why? And
Because we have two other people who have asked to do it first.
I mean, we
have-
could do a battle royale situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 3 episodes, so it can be split up.
That's true.
We've pitched variations of this, but yeah, there's also just so much that has to go into that. Well, trust me when I say we will cover it one day.
And when we
But,
do, it'll be gangbusters. I'll tell
I
you
mean,
what.
I guess so. I have, I have weird Search for Wit history, but we'll get to it when we cover it someday.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, what? Oh, I was just gonna, set up two other dumb things off the top. One, this episode called Do or Diet. Good title. Really good title.
Top-notch title.
The original title, per the wiki, is For the Fat of It. Whether that was just a script title that was never intended to appear publicly, or they actually, released that name and people were like, that is terrible, I don't know. But Do or Diet is a great title. It encapsulates the point of this episode in a way that title does not, and also that title sounds bad and is somewhat offensive.
It is bad.
I don't like...
For the fat of it.
Yeah. Just not...
Because being
not
healthy
a
is
fan
about not having fat. That's how
not
that
a
works.
fan of that title. The other thing, this is written and directed by Kathy Buchanan.
Big fan.
Which I knew would make Andrew happy.
Always does.
And aired March 22nd of 2003. That's all I have context-wise. So if everyone's cool with it, we're gonna roll the promo and then talk about Do or Diet. I don't know why I'm spelling this all out. You guys listen to the show, unless you're here from car reviews on YouTube, in which case...
I also listen to the show.
Yeah.
You're the only one watching your videos.
No. I'm speaking to the listeners, not the people in the room.
Truck
Yes,
squad.
for all my truck squad.
Yes,
Right.
what do you call your
if-
alpha shark people?
I don't have a name for them yet. Hey, truck squad.
Yeah, truck sharks.
If you cannot,
trucks.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to put the kibosh on Truck Squad. That is just encroaching on our territory here.
What do you call? I haven't listened or paid attention close enough. What do you call your group?
It's Chalk Squad.
Chalk Squad. Okay.
Yeah.
Wad Fam Chalk Pod.
Yes, I do
listeners of the
recall
Chalk
that now.
Squad. It was a thing I said accidentally one time that has stuck.
All right.
You can't see the disgust on Dylan's face.
I mean, I've come
fell.
to like it in just that there is an easy name to use.
Yeah. Well, and it.
But
Yeah.
This was a really long detour.
Wooten, Whit, and Bernard have faced a lot of trying times in Odyssey, but none so difficult as those they're about to face.
I think I might faint.
It's a battle unlike any they've seen. No one should ever be asked to lay down their Twinkies and say,
Yeah, dieting, here we come.
will they survive the tribulations? Find out on the next Adventures in Odyssey.
That was gold. That was gold.
Very action movie vibes.
Suspenseful.
so much joy
Nobody
on my
should be
face
asked
right
to
now,
lay
guys.
down their Twinkies.
Triggering use of the word tribulation, but beyond that,
yeah.
no.
It's been a millennial
This
of dieting.
this promo gets what it's supposed to be.
And it does it. It kills it. Whoever was in charge. Great job.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we cover the promos.
Yeah. No, I think it's
We
fantastic.
can cut this and throw it right in whenever we cover a new Odyssey, and I hate the promos again, but
Yeah. Post album 50 promos, not fun, but back
But
in
these
days,
the Renaissance, it was all art.
the Renaissance. I'm sophisticated.
Yeah, realizing that this episode takes place within the Connie going through significant relationship arc, relationship issues, totally changes the tone of the episode.
It does and it doesn't. I find its placement weird.
Yeah.
In that it doesn't acknowledge any of that. It feels like this should be a post-Mitch episode, not a mid-Mitch episode. I understand this is the point at which he has moved to DC. But it's weird that she's fully I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Maybe I will go to college. And I'm like, I mean, sure, you do you, Connie. Like I am in favor of you going to college, even if it doesn't happen for another 20 years of the show. Yeah. But like,
And even then, does it really? Like full time? Is she ever full time?
I don't know. She's a counselor now. She's in counseling college. Is that correct?
There's the one episode, I think. I would have to go back and re-listen to it. That is also on this fan favorites album, I would say. The Connie the Counselor is also on the fan favorites album with Do or Die.
Oh, Do or Die. It's one of the ones in the fan favorites.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Oh, fan favorites. Yes, I was thinking of the voice actor favorite or the like. Yeah, and I was like, "Ooh, who chose this one?" But no, it's fan favorites. Yeah, I mean, the 70 or the 97% on the wiki kind of tips his hand to that. So,
this episode begins with
Boy.
well, we get a wonderful teaser. I mean, all kinds of nostalgia for me, honestly, coming into this episode, as previously stated. Like, this is a personal favorite. So Wooten comes in with donuts to Wit's End, and Connie is not doing well. Bernard is also there, and Wit is there as well. He comes in with cream-filled donuts. Everybody's excited, except for Connie, who's too depressed to eat. That might be a red flag that somebody could address, but you know. And then it's Wooten reveals that they are 2 weeks old, and, you know, Bernard puts one back. He's like, maybe I'll get a slightly smaller donut.
Connie being depressed, a thing that would be interesting to reckon with. This episode does not care.
No.
It's like, look,
Rocky
she's
montage?
yeah. And this will be obvious to anybody who's listened to this show and this episode, but my biggest complaint is all the Connie of it all.
Yeah.
She
They just don't treat her well.
They really don't. The show, and this is a Kathy Buchanan episode too, who I feel like normally like gets it. And for what it's worth, better than a lot of the Connie episodes that we've covered, but also Connie deserves better.
Yeah. Well, especially to not even succeed at the end of it. That was kind of annoying.
Yeah, she is, well, and it's that classic, like, the reason she's in this episode is so that she can serve as the member of the audience learning a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much I have to say about this when we really get into it.
I mean, we're
Now's
almost
as good
there.
a time as any.
Yeah,
Are there any cast notes that we have before?
no. The only cast member we have here who is new is Michael Latimer playing Ricky. This is the only episode he's been in, and he is an on-screen actor from the 60s and 70s who didn't do much after that. And didn't do anything like that I recognized during that era. But
So he's
just got some credits.
He must he must have old money and lived like downtown close to Salami Studios and was just sitting there, and they're like, we need somebody
or
to
is
be
a friend of Dave Madden, who also was, you know,
maybe it's Dave Madden's
old
personal
school,
trainer.
also old school TV guy.
I could have sworn that it was just one of the regular side actors doing a voice.
When I listened to it, I thought, oh, is this... is it Steve Burns? Who's the voice of Rodney and Mitch?
That's Burns, yeah.
That's Mitch. That's what I was thinking.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
is this a Steve Burns like voice? But no, it's another guy
It's close.
entirely. Yeah. I feel like Burns could pull this off. He's got decent range. He's
Isaac,
Rodney
have you seen
and
Parks
Mitch.
and Rec?
2 episodes.
Okay.
So
Are you-
Hey, that's two more
maybe
than
you're
me.
gonna reference one of the 2 episodes I've seen.
Well, are you familiar with Chris Traeger, the super health nut character in the show?
I am not.
Okay,
no.
that's fine. I was just gonna say that Ricky gives me serious Chris Traeger vibes because
Yeah,
he's
I
like
have
this over the top toxic positivity health nut.
Ricky busts in. Weirdly, the second episode during guest season where we've talked about toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Don't look too hard at that. We're just enjoying ourselves here, okay, guys?
Yeah. In my notes, I have Ricky McLean is literally every single personal trainer I've ever met. I've also met cardboard cutouts that were more real than him. I can't imagine him being that fake for that long. Like,
Yeah.
YES, you could.
then Bernard's line where Connie goes, "This is what I could have been praying for," and then Bernard goes, if he's the answer to your prayer, I don't even want to know what you've been praying for. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like they're aware.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no,
it's-
they know.
yes.
This guy.
The
He just got off his soul cycle, and his soul is cycling. I'll tell you what.
the spot where this episode excels, obviously, is Bernard and Wooten. Great comedy independently, but together, just. I mean,
Creme de la
they're a
creme.
perfect duo. Well, it's what we talked about when we
Cookies
were
and milk,
You know,
peanut butter
talking
and
about
jelly.
Other Side of the Glass. Like it is so good.
Yeah. They riff off each other so well. They're really. Yeah, they are what makes this episode incredible.
Yeah.
In my mind,
Yeah,
obviously.
it's definitely the thing that like elevates it.
Yeah.
The
So Ricky's a personal trainer at Campbell College.
Right.
He comes in. Of course, Whit knows him.
Right, Whit just knows this guy.
knows everybody.
I guess because
Yeah.
he's always at Whit's end. He comes in, he orders like, non-fat yogurt, dairy-free ice cream, whatever.
It was with like tofu-based chocolate sauce and
Which-
two
Mr. Wicker's
organic, boysenberries.
we don't have that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't.
he doesn't have the boysenberries. He does have tofu-based chocolate sauce, which is generic health joke to the extreme.
Yeah,
like
that
there's
does not exist.
no,
right?
no. And what would it be? Like
Is it just a slab of?
right? Like this is the thing. Is there's no reason for those two to be the same thing.
But here we are, and Bernard makes a good joke about it tasting or being as appetizing as cardboard, and he's like, it's got flavor beyond your imagination. And he's like, oh, really good cardboard then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, that would always gets me.
Everything Bernard says in this episode is like a witty comeback. Like
Well, yeah.
I got into it and I was like, is he going to say anything that actually progresses the plot forward, or is this just a witty line?
Nope.
He's
it's
just there.
Yeah.
When Ricky's like spelling out all this stuff, he does the like YOU could do it,
Yeah.
and Bernard just goes IT.
IT.
So good.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
the
There's
beauty
just,
of
like,
recording in person and just like riffing off each other.
Understated zingers. It's well performed on Dave Madden's part.
Yeah.
Big fan.
So he comes in, he's talking about the scholarship opportunity.
It sounds like the worst scholarship ever.
Yeah, I mean, is it even a full ride? Like, the entire episode is contingent upon Connie trying to get this scholarship that is for something that she doesn't know that she wants.
Sure.
And is not completely adequate that we've, like, if it was like, oh, full ride scholarship,
We don't
we'll
know
make
what this
happen.
scholarship is, and if you the conditions of the scholarship are if you do this scholarship, then in order to qualify for the scholarship. This does not mean you get it.
Yeah.
It just means that you're in consideration. So in order to get to that point, you have to get 3 people to lose 10 pounds, and the deadline is 5 weeks away.
Unfathomable.
This has got to be like wit supremacy, right? Because he's
I'll hear you out.
Wit works on the college board, correct?
Yes.
So he could totally make this scholarship thing happen.
Oh, you think Wit set this whole thing up?
I think that Wit intentionally let off the gas at the end and was like, this isn't what God wants for Connie. I'm gonna eat this ice cream
conspiracy.
for Connie.
Oh my word. I do. Wit, especially recent Wit, does seem like he might be manipulative enough to pull that
To
off.
do that, yeah.
Listen, Connie, this is for your own good. Like, I'm here for you. You need
Yeah.
to process it. I know what's good for you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just gonna tank my own health.
Yep. Well, more so, I'm just gonna fall off the wagon just enough.
Right. Just a little bit so that you still feel good about yourself, but also
Oh, it's calculated.
I can keep you here at Wit's End forever. Mm-hmm. Forever.
I mean,
because Eugene's gone at this point, so I need you.
Do you think that later, when Wit does lose weight, Connie in the back of her head's like, you could have done it.
That's
You
true.
could have. You lost a lot of weight, Wit.
Modern Wit, very slim.
he is trim. That man has got the Mr. Rogers body type. He
Yeah.
weighs like 150 pounds soaking wet.
I was thinking he had more of like a fathead body type.
Well,
where
yeah.
he's all head.
He is all head.
But that's for what it's worth. That's all the characters.
Most of the
right
characters,
now.
yeah.
He's yeah.
Just the art style.
There's a wonderful
Look.
comment made by Wooten.
Look, I want Adventures in Odyssey bobbleheads or Pez dispensers.
Yeah, I would
What
take
about
either.
what are those called? Pops? Like the pop?
Oh,
are those
Poppets?
bobbleheads? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like their little bobblehead guys or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops?
Funko Pops.
Funko Pops, yeah.
Oh, okay, they're not bobbleheads, but yes, they are all head as
yes,
well.
those are all
Yes.
head. That
Yeah.
could
Yes.
be.
They also
easily-
have dead eyes.
They
They
do.
do. Sorry,
and,
that would
and
take away
they're very
from-
minimalist face, and there's a lot of face detail for Odyssey, so I feel like that crossover
That's
might
true.
not
Wouldn't
go
That-
well.
work, yeah.
But I'm open to
I'm
see
just
some
spitballing
concept
there.
Artist
art.
Gary Locke would be like, "No, we will not sign this contract.
That's probably true.
They won't be able to capture the likeness I've created for these characters."
We can't fit as much God and wit in that Funko Pop.
Especially because half of their character design right now is just having colored eyes.
Yeah,
That is true.
that is very important.
That is, yeah. Some
Very
very vibrant eyes.
fundamental. Wooten makes a comment about fitting better in the shower sideways than I don't know how that works. I was trying to figure that out in my head. So he's wider than he is tall, and Wooten is not a short guy to my understanding. I would say assume average height.
I
5'10".
have to assume this is purely a joke.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Wooten's always been drawn with a bit of a pot belly, but there is no world in which he can be wider than he is tall, and that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, and also fitting in the shower sideways.
I have a note here that says Wooten needs a bigger shower.
yeah.
It really
Wooten
does.
has been showering in
yeah.
the dog.
Because we were all sitting there trying to picture Wooten. How would you?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, maybe,
Well, what kind of
Do
shower
you back in?
Yeah. So, I suppose if he's like pretty broad, maybe if it's a breadth thing.
So I'm with you. I think it's probably that it was just a pure joke. Like he is joking in the context of the show.
This is the thing this is the problem with Wooten, and it might be more in the voice performance than what's on page, but like it is. I never have an understanding of how self-aware Wooten is.
Yeah, Jess Harnell does play him kind of like
It seems
quirky.
like he's not at all
Like he's just a
self-aware.
bar.
No, yeah,
Everything's
no.
just
so
on him. Yeah.
so then when he does have like actual written jokes, like that joke in Bernard's mouth works.
yeah.
In Wooten's mouth, you're like, wait,
What?
are you serious? Am I supposed
You're
to
a
take this
mailman?
like? Am I supposed to take this seriously?
I've never imagined Bernard as a particularly fit person, but I felt like Wooten, with all the shenanigans he pulls and going on slides and stuff, is like at least physically capable.
Yeah.
So
Wit feels bad,
Well,
basically immediately.
So right, well, we didn't even set up what happens.
Fair,
It's that Connie gets all excited about the potential for this scholarship, and she looks around at the three people there. Ricky goes like, "What does he say? Oh, a gal like you must have plenty of friends." And I'm like,
Ugh.
Ricky apparently hasn't been to Odyssey before, because let's establish the fact that Connie has
Zero
no
friends.
especially in this era where Eugene is gone. Like, the people in the room with her right there were pre-Penny, were pre her having a younger sister, like we're pre all the new Odyssey stuff, and we're post Eugene. I don't think like Nick's not working there anymore.
No.
Aubrey's not there. Like,
Connie is an island.
right, Mitch is currently away.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Connie's friends are this. Like, I guess we never really talked about that when we were doing Connie and Mitch stuff, especially in the lead up to the wedding. But like, Connie's maid of honor would have to be like Joanne. Like, there's that's her closest thing to a female friend at this point in the show.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Even if Eugene was there, I mean, if he lost 10 pounds, he'd have to go to the hospital. That seems like an unsafe way.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
He's
Eugene,
already so
he might
skinny.
disappear.
He
might
just evaporates.
This episode did lead me to Google how much a kidney weighs. I'll save that for later.
Well, you got a spit take. So, mission accomplished.
Hey.
So Connie is just like, yeah, you three should all lose weight. And they all make up excuses, including Wit. including Wit. And then Connie leaves, and Wooten's the first to cave and say that he feels really guilty.
Yeah. Because he's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
and
he
he
is.
knows. And he said his doctor was like, oh, I actually should be eating better and taking care of myself. And then Wit jumps on and he's like, yeah, I'm selfish and terrible and I need to do this for Connie. And, which is true. Like, it is the mild inconvenience. And he just calls it straight for what it is.
Wit uses the excuse that he's got to, he's busy with Wits End Connellsville.
Yeah. Like,
Which
what?
has been established for, almost 10 albums at this point.
It's been open.
Excuse,
Yeah.
easy out.
What's Maud calls them cuddle bundles. Is that Bernard's excuse? What's Bernard's excuse for not doing it? Or does he just not want to?
But Bernard just says, he doesn't actually need to lose weight.
Yeah.
He's thinner than all of them.
Yeah.
He's fine. And then they're like, have you been to the doctor recently? He's like, yeah, the doctor told me to lose weight.
Yeah. Which, funny.
But yes, his wife does call them cuddle bundles.
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Anybody can get ahead of themselves. We don't have a clear structure here, Andrew.
Well, the next scene is Connie and Ricky getting Wooten and Wit and Bernard all set up because they've all agreed to do this thing, and they're very excited. And this is when we learn that Maud calls them cuddle bundles, and Connie tells them to cut down on their fat and calories, and that's a very interesting dietary advice. So
yeah, we oh man, we should have pre-recorded a little bit with Andrew's mom, who's a dietitian.
Yeah, no, I
and
can't.
who listens to this show. So hi Marie, hopefully we don't say anything wrong, and if we do, you know where to find us.
Yeah,
Hi,
no.
Marie. Nice to meet you.
Oh, she's nice. She'd love you.
Aw.
She loves everyone. She does.
Well, I'd like to. Okay. Like to think
She's a
that it would be
delightful
genuine.
woman. You would enjoy that.
No, it always is genuine. It just doesn't make you special.
Aw. What a great way I get on the show and
There you
just
go.
called not unique.
Well, Mother, I do believe that 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, and that dieting should be based on not just macronutrient restriction, but overall nutrition. So there you go. That's my
I
official
assume so. I'm
recommendation.
not a dietitian.
Yeah, I'm not a dietitian, not a doctor. Shh.
I got that joke.
Thank you. Thank you. Dylan didn't. It's okay.
No, that's fine. I don't have to get all the jokes.
But you what?
But he's the guy on the show. He hosts the show. He doesn't get all the jokes.
headphones and the thing and the mic and the laptop.
So anyway,
The next scene.
Why a gesture towards me? So the thing I would like to set up here is just we are trying to move on. I recognize, but I also need to keep there. I feel like there's one other component from the first scene that colors the rest of this episode for
for
me.
it.
Yeah,
which
go.
is Connie immediately throws in the towel and does what is a parody of someone. It's the thing that you would say to guilt trip someone, except she's doing it genuinely.
Yeah.
But she's just she goes from gung-ho, I want to do this thing, to, oh, this is more the people around me aren't supporting me. I guess I'm just giving up without trying anything more. And then that kind of sets her path for the episode in which the slightest thing will...
She's like, this is for me. Well, and maybe it's because it's not for you and you're going through something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who could have thought?
So, yeah, we're at the first weigh-in, right? And
They've got plenty to lose. And Bernard's like, oh, thanks.
but Bernard's like, I've got less than everyone else. And Ricky's like, well, but you have more, your fat to muscle ratio is worse.
Yeah,
So
your BMI's poor.
Yes, step on it. And
Get jacked.
yeah, when they is there anything else before they check in?
No,
I feel
I
like
don't
this
think
first
so.
scene
Yeah.
is pretty brief. But
Yeah.
this
section.
thank you. Yes, it's brief. But they check in, and Wade's lost, like, did he lose 6 pounds? They're supposed to lose 4 after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's lost 6. Bernard and, like, Wooten has lost 3, and Bernard has lost 1.
Also, the logistics of these, like, middle to late adulthood males losing weight that rapidly, that is not healthy. You are not supposed to lose more than a pound a week.
I was thinking.
Oh,
and they're
okay.
losing
See,
10
these are the things I
pounds
don't know.
in 5 weeks is a lot.
Very
Because
not good.
2,000 calories is the equivalent to 1 pound of fat, right? Or 1 pound of body weight. So you're gonna have to scoop out, like, essentially 4,000 calories per week across 7 days. You're not eating enough. Your body is not happy with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, me, a person who knows nothing about this, goes, well, you just have to, like, scoop out 4,000 in a week? That seems like that wouldn't be that much. This is my problem, Andrew, is I don't know what any of this means.
Well, considering on average you eat, like, say, a little bit less than 2,000 calories a day,
Right.
if you were to do that, you'd probably realistically have to drop that to, like, 1,000 calories a day.
Yeah,
which
so-
across 3 meals with exercise is the equivalent of just, like, a piece of toast and half of a grapefruit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
This is like some pre-sweat lodge, like, you've got to lose weight for a wrestling match type.
Okay.
stuff.
So this is an unhealthy amount of weight loss you're telling me.
No,
Weight-
definitely.
Weight dropping 6 pounds in 2 weeks. Bad?
Yes.
I mean, it's probably just water weight.
no.
That may be part of it, maybe. Maybe he's really dehydrated. Well, he's supposed to be drinking more water. He said he was drinking a bunch, so
You know, they're doing all this stuff to try and, like,
maybe he put
slim
rocks in
down.
his pocket.
Right, this is what I was about to say, is they should have jumped on the scale with
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if they had really
That would've
thought
been
this
clever.
through, you know.
That does seem like a Bernard thing to do.
That's
Don't
the-
worry, they
the
find
reveal.
plenty of other ways to cheat.
I also, like, I think it's right before the first check-in. I think they have one section where they're trying to run, and they're like, I don't know, it could be right after it. And then Connie asks Bernard how he's doing, and he's like, I'd have to get better to die.
That sums up my experiences running, though.
Yeah.
Every time I run,
Okay.
that is roughly how I feel.
I cannot wait to talk about the second section where they're doing the
Go for it.
Rocky stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, where
Yeah.
good old John Campbell, I assume, I am now verifying. Yep, good old John Campbell does, like, the Rocky theme.
Pretty much verbatim.
Oh yeah, like, to the point where if you didn't deeply know the Rocky theme, because you're not me, you could mistake them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went,
Slight
oh,
deviation.
I know exactly where this is changing from the Rocky theme so that they can avoid copyright, but it's still close enough that I'm like, I wonder if this is legal.
Yeah.
I don't think that it is. I mean, it
Well,
would
it
not
must
pass on
be.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Not
exactly,
these days.
yeah. Oh, definitely
In this
not.
economy?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Good night. And I would know.
Have you had any videos get
Yes.
copyright?
Okay, so
I have as well.
I did a
Dylan's a devious man.
I wanted to parody Michael W. Smith's Place in This World
Okay.
in one of my pickup truck videos. I have a very strange YouTube channel.
That's okay.
And so I ended up, I kind of did some tests. And so YouTube tells you if you're getting monetized. And so what I did is I was like, okay, I'm going to cover this. So I got an instrumental, tested it. It wouldn't flag the instrumental. And so then I sang over it. I'm not a good singer, but I sang over it. So it was crazy. And then just like sometime in the past 6 months, they allow you to do up to 5 seconds of any music. Like they will now say you can do 5 seconds. So I did another song called All I Need Is a Miracle, and I wanted the actual song because it hit for a joke. And if I just tested it. 6 seconds, copyright, no monetization. 5 seconds, got away.
Fine.
And I have made money on that video. They
There
have
you
not
go.
they have not taken it down. So
Woohoo!
yeah,
Cheating the system.
but literally, so I read the Adventures in Odyssey wiki first, and I saw the variation of Rocky theme, and I went, yeah, okay. And then when it started playing, I'm very familiar. I literally went, oh my goodness, they got the Rocky theme.
Yeah.
But then in the same, I'm like, oh, no, I see exactly where they're changing.
Yeah.
Yep. So
It's like there's they do, like, I think Nick has a fantasy where he's like covering smoke on the water, and they change
Yes.
to like one chord or something just to make it sound basically the same but not quite.
So one of the big things I want to talk about during this montage is Connie times Bernard, and she says 2 miles. Great job, Bernard. 43 minutes. I run and I have just started to get back into running, so I'm slower. So my 1 mile, if I'm gonna, I average about, if I'm just getting back into it, about 11 minutes a mile, and that's really slacking it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I'm really slowing down. You know, you're really jogging. You're getting about 7 minutes.
He's
a mile.
walking.
He's walking. That's what I have in my notes. 43 minutes. He's stopping.
Yeah.
He must be stopping for minutes.
Yeah.
To just stand there and sit down.
Yeah.
43 minutes for 2 miles.
That is insane.
What? That is it. I cannot believe that.
I'm not here to judge his fitness journey, but it does seem like he could be squeeging in a bit harder.
He's 20 minutes behind Wit.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny, but I also appreciate that Wit's not pulling like crazy times.
No.
Yeah,
and that's
Wit's doing a gentleman's 5 mile per hour, 6 mile per hour mile.
That's exactly. That's probably
you're just
what
like a
for
light
his
jog.
age and his weight, probably what he would do. Yeah. Which I think is good. I
Good
just thought that
amount
was
of exercise.
absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah.
That Bernard
Well,
does.
yeah. I think Bernard might have been stopping to eat Twinkies out of his
most
shirt
likely.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Quality of living.
Absolutely unfathomable.
Yeah, they stop. When he and Wooten are on a jog, then they stop to eat snacks, and then they cut through a hedge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little earlier. And also,
Well, he says, Wooten says, this running thing isn't so bad. How far have we gone? And Wit's like, oh, less than 1/10 of a mile. And Wooten's like, all right, I'm done.
oh wow, that's a pretty good Wooten.
I do feel that, though. Anytime I feel good while I'm running, I am less than a quarter mile in. That is
Really?
that is the only window of maybe this time it's actually not going to be that bad. And then
To be fair, I will look at my watch and I'll be like, yeah, we must be close to a mile now. It's like 0.3. Like, what the heck?
I just don't run.
that's the easiest way to get around
Yeah,
this.
that is, exactly. And can we just talk about, Wooten and Bernard's dynamic is absolutely fantastic in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't deny it. Bernard is an enabler.
Yes.
In this episode,
yes. He's
Bernard,
egging him on.
Bernard is causing a brother to stumble. Bernard is going against Romans 14:13 because he's like, Bernard's like, you should go in for a smell. And Wooten's like, oh man, I guess a smell wouldn't be too bad. And he's like, go in, Wooten.
Yeah.
Go in for the smell. Oh, well, I guess if you say so, Bernard.
Bernard is playing the devil.
He literally is.
Yeah.
He literally is. And I was like, oh my goodness. I get this. It's funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Bernard.
you were saying, they're paying no mind to Connie. They're completely blowing her off, essentially.
Yeah.
I know it's
how
a
good are those
character.
Joanne's brownies sound really good.
No, to be fair, I was listening to this not gonna lie, I'd take those.
That
But I'm
sounds
also
pretty
not on a diet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not worried about losing weight. Yeah. Bernard is really not behaving himself. He's stashing food down his shirt. He is leading a brother down the wrong path. But he eventually, 2 weeks in, there's a second way in, and there's kind of a come to Jesus moment for everybody in the party, where Wooten and Bernard own the fact that they are not. They've been slacking, and Wooten is adorable and is like, oh, you're gonna be more determined than Power Boy something yada yada blender. Did you write it down?
I did not, but he refers to a time where Power Boy fought a blender. I had this episode where I was like, oh, Wooten is constantly referencing Power Boy, a thing that no one else has a basis of reference for, and he writes, which they don't know, but he writes, imagine if I constantly referenced this freaking podcast in casual conversation, be like, we're talking about something, and be like, oh, that's just like that one time that Isaac came on and he reviews trucks, and people would be like, what? I'm
sorry,
what are
what?
you talking about?
But that's all you
or
said.
Like,
Yeah.
Right. Or honestly, actually, maybe the better corollary. Well, no, because I think it's like, in some regards, the better corollary is us referencing Adventures in Odyssey in normal life. The difference is that we don't make Adventures in Odyssey.
Yes.
Like, imagine saying a reference that you know will not land for anyone, and also you create the thing.
Yeah, like the odds of me getting the Andrew not a doctor thing, that was
like, exactly.
I mean, I understood that because
Yeah.
I know what that was from the end of a show.
Yeah.
And so I understand what that is. But yeah, it's like the odds of that are absolutely
Right.
insane.
And you made the thing.
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a weird flex.
The last thing I ever want to make mention of in conversation with people is that I create this podcast. And that is nothing against the people who listen to this podcast. I am uncomfortable with the fact that one of the main ways I spend my time outside of work is making a podcast about Adventures in Odyssey. It's fun, I love it while I do it, and with close friends I want to talk about it, but there's no way to bring it up in casual conversation that doesn't immediately bring 1,000 questions that I don't want to field.
Yeah.
No, no. Well, and I mean, good heavens, explaining Adventures in Odyssey to the layman is a task in of
For
itself.
sure. And then just having to, I don't know, reconcile with being a person who makes a podcast and all of the stigma around that. Combined with, what's the podcast about? Oh, well, it's about this
What's it called?
radio show from the 80s that's still going today with, made by Focus on the Family. Yes, the terrible, awful people that you hear about on the news. Yes, they make this show.
But it's good.
Yeah, most of the time.
Well, the newer
Sometimes
stuff.
we disagree with it. Like, we're not like a pro-focus,
We laugh,
pro-adventure.
we
Like,
cry.
yeah, we try and strike a, like, I don't want to have this conversation
We
with
dwell
anybody
in the
ever.
gray.
I totally understand what you mean. Being a YouTuber, it is.
Try explaining that.
My
yeah.
mom tells everybody I do it, and I'm like, stop telling people.
No.
Please. Like, it is, again, it's so weird to tell people that I review pickup trucks, because then of course the first question is, oh my goodness, how did you start doing that? How did you do that? How much money do you make? How many people follow you? How you did? I
don't want to talk about
I got
it.
recognized in an Applebee's last month, and it was
Really?
somebody came up to me and he was like, "You're the pickup truck reviewer." And I was holding the door for him at Applebee's, and I went, "Yeah." And I went, "Oh no, it's happening." and he starts asking me all these questions. His wife is like so confused.
Right.
And I literally, after like 5 minutes, he just keeps asking questions on top
About
of each
trucks?
other. Yes, about how I do it and how much money I make and where I live. Which, I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
And I just go, "Are you gonna
What kind of
walk
shampoo
into the
do you
Applebee's?"
use? Yeah.
That is the difference between YouTube and podcasts. At least at this point, is people kind of understand what YouTube is.
Except my grandpa, but yes.
But like,
He's trying
in
to-
general,
the general
people
audience know what a
understand
YouTube. Yes.
that YouTube is a way you can make money.
Yes.
I never get any of those questions about the podcast.
You're generally more of what you were saying is what your questions are. Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
There is no intrinsic value to it other than like, why are you doing this with your time?
Right. My favorite question I get is people go, "Do you buy the cars?" And I went, "Yes, I buy all the cars, and then
I
I
keep
review
them
them, and then I
myself."
sell them." Yes.
I have an entire parking garage
Yes,
behind
it's
my
just
house.
hundreds of cars. I just buy them.
It's like a Hot Wheels set
YouTube
back
is
there.
very profitable. But anyway.
Yeah. So the point I'm making is it's weird that Wooten keeps quoting Power Boy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It was less weird when it was a thing he was a fan of. It was an annoying character quirk. But when it's a thing he creates, I start to go,
Hey, wait a minute.
you might want to have that looked into, Wooten.
That's
you,
not
you
a-
considered therapy.
Yeah.
It's like he's like
slightly
pushing it because nobody
narcissistic.
listens to it or reads it. He's like, "Hey, nobody reads this, so I'm gonna
Love it. That's a pretty good Wooten impression.
Thank you. I've never actually tried to do it before.
You got the intonation down.
Read
great.
PowerPoint, please."
Help! Holler!
That's pretty good
Some
too.
not too tragic tragedies happen.
On the topic of Wooten, his strategy for weight loss includes removing his eyebrows, cutting his fingers, his hair,
Cutting his fingernails.
cutting his fingernails.
Cut my fingers off. Help.
I get away with thumb pinky these days.
Oh my word! All right, this is a reference truly for no one, but there is the show that had a great first season that then just tanked, like so many network TV shows, that is near and dear to my heart, is Heroes. And Heroes had is a superhero show, but like grounded. Before that was really like a thing.
A thing, yeah.
Like before superhero was the media at large, there was Heroes. It's like I said, the first season's good. But there's a character who at one point finds out she has like a healing factor and wants to put it to the test. And so she's read that you don't actually need your pinky toe, and so she cuts it off with a pair of scissors.
Does it grow back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear she's got
Yeah,
the
that
pick
would be.
going.
But
That's smart. You go
Wooten
for something.
could have lost weight this way.
True.
That's true.
Like I said,
But
cutting
not
fingers.
a lot, though, because I did look it up.
You have it up. Okay.
Yeah. The average kidney weighs about 150 grams, which is not that many grams to lose a kidney.
Yeah.
And we're talking adult male, like as big as a kidney can be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Ditch
goodness.
the appendix, ditch the kidney, ditch the
Tonsils,
tonsils.
you mentioned. Wisdom teeth, got to make sure those are out of there. They weigh
He
something.
actually mentioned getting rid of his fillings, so he's got
yes,
like some,
Oh wow.
He's got some
gold
serious
caps in
hardware.
there. Yeah, I mean just lose all the teeth, go dentures, take the dentures out from when you weigh in. Like what are some other ways
Sweat
we
lodge.
could lose weight here?
Sweat for sure. Oh my
Sauna.
goodness. Shave. Just completely shave your entire body.
Right. Well, he did the legs. He did his eyebrows.
Just our armpit hair. I'm going for everything. Bald. Go bald.
Well, yeah. I mean, he already wears a hat. He's a mailman.
So you don't even need it. Yeah.
What's hair for if you wear hats?
Yeah.
For sure. I think that would maybe.
Yes, it says wearing a hat.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop wearing a hat.
I've made my lot in life. I no longer have hats.
Yeah. And the thing there is that Wooten is proven right, because we get to the final weigh-in and he lost 12 pounds.
Yeah, he lost 2 more than he. At what cost? I might say
Everything.
Yeah.
This is the other thing. So Bernard lost 10. I would like to point out that their previous weigh-ins, they were at 3 and 1. So the men lost the same amount of weight during the final 3 weeks of the thing.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's not enough attention drawn to that. But
love that consistency. We like to see it.
I don't know. 'Cause
Except for Wit.
Wooten's praised for like, oh man, dude, you lost 12 pounds. And, Bernard's like, well, I also lost 9 pounds between in the same amount of time. So,
He did it, and he did it probably the right way without removing any extreme, external things.
If this was a video, like Wooten's there and he's bald and he's just in the air,
shivering in a corner naked.
Shivering, and Bernard just looks normal.
Yeah. The thing that's right, I guess. This episode's so weirdly complex, but they
like a
don't-
montage, honestly.
They don't lose, or like the reason that's given for them not losing weight in the first part is just that they don't care enough.
Yeah.
Is that they're cutting corners, they're not actually committed to this, whereas Wit's committed from the get-go. But then they do commit, they do buckle down, and Wit stays committed, and they lose the weight, and Wit doesn't.
Unless Wit didn't stay committed.
Right. Unless Wit now has rocks in his pockets.
I always remember this episode as at the end, Wit didn't. Like, Wit was cheating. For some reason, that was in the back of my head. Yeah. But then I was like, that doesn't really seem like a Wit thing.
Yeah, no. We can't have God cheating.
No,
He didn't
exactly.
cheat. He just knew what was right.
Well, I'm sort of right.
The
in
ice
fact
cream
that he
was
doesn't.
right.
Yeah.
And so Wit only lost 9 pounds. That's only 3 pounds in 3 weeks. A healthy amount per Andrew Acebo.
Yeah.
1 pound a week.
Yes, sir.
For his second, or his the 3 weeks at the end. But yeah, this means that Connie can't get the scholarship. And Ricky's like, oh, yeah, Wit's got 9 pounds. I'm out of here.
Peace out.
Yep.
Never to be heard from again.
And then Connie's just like, yeah, Wit. Connie's like, I can't get the scholarship. All right, whatever. I guess personal training's not my thing. And Wit's like, I'm so sorry I let you down. But yeah, it's... And then the message we go out on is everyone reminding her of her own motto, the patience and perseverance thing that she keeps telling them throughout. And the idea is, look, if you just like hang in there, you know, God's going to give you something to do. And yes, but I don't love that as the message.
No, well, and
I
given
don't
the
either.
circumstances of everything, I feel like there are at least a handful of other messages that could alleviate these problems.
Yeah, I feel like in my notes, like I was like literally Bernard causing Wooten to stumble. I was like, just use Romans 14:13 that
we'll
when
be
you're in a
fine.
difficult situation, don't cause a brother to stumble.
Bro, we just gotta rip out that Romans, and we just rebuke the devil. We just tell him, get right out of here with your sweet, tempting brownies.
And Connie's so mad at Wit, and
Yeah.
Wit is like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You know, Connie,
I don't think Connie's that mad.
She's upset because
She's like,
she put all of her
Right.
hopes
She
of her
did-
failed
yes.
relationship into becoming a personal trainer instead, following the old fitness influencer route.
Note, her relationship has not failed yet.
It's failing.
Because they're long distance.
No, that's fair.
I mean, like,
I'd
it's
have to read
it's
it.
not in a great place, but
Yeah.
like, you know, she goes on to be engaged to him.
fair.
So
fair. There's worse to come.
it's just
Yeah.
that thing of the, I guess the idea that bugs me here is just, hey, just wait around and God's gonna like plop something into your lap. That'll be perfect. And I'm like,
But Caillou, I felt like was good at this.
I think I get what you're saying, but her whole thing at the end is not to like. It's basically like, oh, I'm just gonna wait around for God to give me something that's right, and I'm like, Connie, go do something, and if it's right, it'll work. But like, don't just hang out at wit's end praying that the right opportunity comes to you, but never actually trying for anything.
Yeah, like waiting for another Ricky to walk through the door and drop this in your lap.
Go
Right.
meet friends.
Yeah. Engage in some peer activities. Join a
Disc
bowling
golf
league.
or something. Yeah.
Also, why, if the personal training was her thing, why would not getting this scholarship have to stop that?
Exactly.
Like, she did kind of find her groove with it. She was rough initially, but figured it out and was like pretty competent. And it's like, there are options that are not like, the scholarship obviously would have been great. Granted, you weren't guaranteed it if you got
Anyway.
these people to drop their weight, but whatever. But like, you know, you've been working at Wits End for how long, and what do you spend that money on? You can apply for financial aid. There are other scholarships available.
Wits
for
on the
you.
board.
Right.
If anybody could win, she should be going to school for free.
It's a community college. Wits on the board. You work like you have options,
You
Connie.
can get into any community college, and usually with tax incentives, it's so insanely cheap.
Right.
Yeah,
As a
I
person
wish that I
who
had-
went to community
Yes,
college,
me too.
did not acquire any debt, just worked, and I was able to
Exactly,
pay
me
for
too.
college.
Yeah.
Like, I realize that's not everyone's situation.
Yes.
But I think you could probably work something out
I
here.
think it's a real good. I mean, I would recommend anybody going into college just go to community college to get your gen eds out of the way.
Yeah, I graduated with no debt, and then when I transferred to the university, I'm gonna have debt when I come out of this.
Oh
but-
yeah, no, it's gonna be bad.
yeah. Let's high five. Woo!
Just signed up for classes. Next semester is worse than this one.
I know. I'm like, where did my scholarships go?
What about that GPA? Oh god.
Yeah, but I graduated
well,
community
you-
college with no debt.
And do we have anything else to say about the episode itself? What is okay? Actually, here I want everyone to weigh in on this.
Yes.
Who is meant to be right in this episode. Is anybody meant to be right? Is anybody meant to be wrong?
Well, somebody's got to be right?
That is actually a
Is
really good question.
Bernard right?
No.
We're being pessimistic
Well,
the whole time
well-
and making it happen.
I would argue, out of everybody, Wooten is probably right.
I think that he is above reproach.
I get, because he is the
Only
one that's
harmed
like,
himself.
yeah. Well, he's the
exactly.
one that is like, we got to do this for Connie, and we got like he agrees, and then like when they have the brownie and they throw it in the lake,
Right.
He's like, we got to,
Yeah.
and so he's right in that sense that like we have to do this because we made this commitment to a friend.
Right.
That would be my
Yeah.
but it's
Because the thing I guess that underlines that question for me is Connie wrong? Like, we time and time again see in Odyssey Connie be frivolous, change on a dime, do stuff that is self-motivated and doesn't make sense and is not what she should be doing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like that is the message of this episode. But
No.
if you are looking at the text, which is some guy walks in and says, hey, you could be a personal trainer, and she throws herself wholeheartedly into that and drags everyone else along, and drags everyone else along on it. On paper, like, Connie is like screwing up by like committing, or like this is the mistake she made, but it's not. Like, and nobody calls it as such.
No.
And all three, Wooten, Wit, and Bernard are like, don't want to do it, and then like guilt each other into doing it.
that's true.
And then they all like, by the end of it, do their best.
From
So
the
I'm
guilt
just like,
trip.
I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like, I don't know. It's a weird Odyssey episode in that the
the
hijinks are
moral?
fun. The moral is like perseverance.
Yeah, patience and perseverance.
Patience and perseverance. Literally what we're talking about. But like, yeah, I don't get it. And I think, yeah. I don't know.
Andrew, you like
Weigh
a
in.
weird episode.
I do. It's weird. It is weird. Now, I mean, upon further examination, totally. The sitcom-y nature of it definitely makes it kind of just fall apart under any amount of scrutiny. And honestly, like, as a kid, I didn't think about the fact that they kind of give Connie the raw end of the stick here, as far as, like, you know, she just kind of gets thrown around, and she's constantly kind of positioned as either not good enough or like the adversary, like getting people to do something that they don't want to do. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Wooten, maybe Bernard, because if the theme is patience and perseverance, I mean,
They did it.
they did the patience and they did the perseverance.
Yeah. I guess. The thing that I would also, I also think colors this episode in that, like, I think a lot of Odyssey episodes come from either we want to do this plot thing with this character, or we want to communicate this moral message.
Yeah.
And this one
Is neither?
is neither. So this is what Kathy Buchanan said about it in the official guide, which is that for years she had campaigned for Whit and Bernard to go on a diet, thinking that would be a hilarious premise. She had kept inserting jokes that often were cut into other scripts about Whit and Bernard gaining weight so that she could do this.
Oh, she's been laying the
So
groundwork.
this was like-
this is a long con.
So this is like what they do with Fast and Furious movies. They get their big showdown scene, and then they go, "How do we get there?" And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what
Yeah,
she's
they
doing.
work
Okay.
backwards.
But,
Yeah.
but I guess this is one of the few episodes that I can think of where the point is not character arc or moral, it's jokes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, this is an episode that was conceived because they thought it would be funny. And that's, I think, why it doesn't land with any sort of clear messaging.
Yeah. but it does land in making me ha ha.
Yeah.
So
it's
I
not.
can't take away from
Yeah,
all
like
of
I
the
said,
laughing
it's
emojis in
not
my
a
notes.
criticism of this episode. I just think it makes this episode interesting when comparing to everything else we've covered.
Oh yeah, especially
Absolutely,
recently.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's
because like
why.
even the comedy ones we covered, like The Devil Made Me Do It or something like that, was very clearly
Right. Everything has been
theme-oriented.
Yes. We've been very message first recently.
Yeah, no,
which is usually how guest episodes break down. Is Andrew and I together cover big character arc stuff, and then when we have guests on, we cover like stuff that has a message because it's more standalone. And this episode does not have a message, nor is it really character work. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
it doesn't
it just
feed
exists.
into Connie's story as far as her trying to go to college or where she's at with her relationship with Mitch. Like that all exists in a vacuum. Wit and Bernard and Wooten like losing weight is not a thing that exists past this. Ricky is only in this episode. Like it is so self-contained, but doesn't have a point.
Well, that's why I like when I said Bernard is literally all jokes in this episode.
Right. Oh,
Because that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it is.
He is.
Because that's what it is for this for the purpose.
Yeah.
That fills in the gap there for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just this. Yeah, the joke
Anyways,
time.
those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I've made it clear this is an old favorite for me. It is kind of convoluted in its plot structure, and like to track with it and then try and convey that to the audience. Like it's not. I mean, it's somewhat plot oriented, but not really.
No, it's jokes oriented.
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
jokes.
the thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's hard to track, but
It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, I have some like I said, I've got Connie criticisms. It's
I enjoyed it both
but-
times
but
I
it's-
listened to it in
but it's-
preparation for
yeah,
this.
exactly. Isaac, any final thoughts on Do or Die It?
No, I think agreeing with you guys. I think it's a fun episode. But yeah, I was confused at the end.
Yeah.
And maybe that's more because I was like planning on going into this with you guys that I was like, well, okay, we're going to talk about the moral. And then I was like, who do I like here? You know? And how it kind of plays out at the end. And so, yeah, this was, I think, a good conversation on the episode. And that fills in the blanks for me because I was kind of confused by that. But it was very funny. I laughed quite a bit. And then I was actually laughing more literally out loud, and actually saying this out loud in my dorm section by myself. I was going, literally, Bernard is enabling Wooten. Literally, he's an enabler. Somebody needs to stop him. And so it was fun.
And at Lancaster Bible College, somebody knew exactly what you were talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly,
Busted into your
exactly.
dorm and were like, "Oh my gosh,
Who's Bernard and who are they enabling?
It's Do or Die It. I know exactly what you're talking
And then
about."
I said do or die, and they went, oh, yeah. What part are you at?
Okay. Well, so that wraps up our formal show, but a little birdie told me that Isaac has some stuff prepared here to go out on. A lightning round of sorts?
Just a fact that this is my favorite fact to whip out in like trivia. Like it's the weirdest fact I know of the most obscure thing. And
This
so
is the show for that.
Yes, I don't think anybody's ever. You can cut this segment if I am not original on this, but I don't think you've ever talked about it. It's already terrible. It's okay. So Hal Smith, voice of first original Mr. Whitaker.
Correct.
I come to find out. So I had, in addition to the Adventures in Odyssey VHSs that I had a bunch of Scooby-Doo Where Are You VHSs, and I have come to find out.
Wait. You were allowed to have both of those in a Christian home?
No,
Yeah,
right?
I was
Isn't that
not.
crazy?
No way.
Okay, real quick side note. No Power Rangers, no Harry Potter. I couldn't do Dragon Tales.
Oh,
I could watch
dicey.
Arthur up until my sister started acting like DW, and then my mom was
that's
like,
problematic.
"Oh no!"
Oh, that was
You're learning
Hannah
the wrong
Montana.
lessons here.
Yeah, but no, Scooby-Doo is. I think okay. Couldn't do Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island because they were real. So original Scooby-Doo, I think my parents were fine with because they were like, it's always a guy in a mask.
It's hijinks.
It was
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
And it was the way
That's
old.
true. You know,
Yes.
as someone who has never actually seen Scooby-Doo,
really?
yeah, but has growing familiarity of it because of the excellent podcast Meddling Adults. That thing of like, oh, none of them are actually monsters. I'm like, oh yeah, this Christian should be very much into this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which apparently Scooby-Doo is a divisive. I mean, the Bosuses were allowed to. I wasn't. It's
Yeah.
household to household.
Have you ever
I
seen
don't think
Scooby-Doo?
I was
Yes,
explicitly told no Scooby-Doo, or at least I don't have recollection of that. It just wasn't part of my
Yeah, it
repertoire.
wasn't part of your. Okay.
Anyways.
So Hal Smith, voice of Mr. Whitaker,
Correct.
also voiced about half the ghosts on the original Scooby-Doo.
Interesting.
Yes, which is
That's
so
very
funny
fun.
because I had all those, and then I went back, not to the video, I went on YouTube and I pulled it up.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the first time in history I can. This is the first time ever I wrote this down that this sentence has been said in the history of planet Earth. That ghastly, cackling white bedsheet is actually Mr. Whitaker. So
There you
It's
go.
true. That
I feel like ghost sounds and owl sounds are
Yes.
like next door neighbors.
Yes,
so the
'cause he
fact
did
that he's
the
an
owl.
owl,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then kind of makes sense that he would
It's
be.
just a lower
ghosts.
who.
My
Yeah.
mom is a huge Andy Griffith person, so
yes.
she was
Okay.
also on Andy
Yep.
Griffith.
Yes,
So
yes.
she always points that out. And I'm like, Mom, you told me that yesterday.
Mom,
So-
you're old.
But then so I did research, and I found out that Andre Stojka, third Mr. Whitaker,
Oh, we're
also has voiced ghosts on Scooby-Doo.
On Scooby-Doo?
Newer ghosts.
Yeah.
In the 90s. He
Yeah,
did 90s, and
Yeah.
Hal
He's-
Smith did 60s
right,
Scooby-Doo.
and they were both owl.
Yes.
Yes,
Which
yes.
is so.
I knew that.
That's what I wanted to bring up next. So what the heck? Like what a niche that is.
The crossover,
where
the
I've
Venn
done
diagram.
Mr. Whitaker, Owl, and ghosts on Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's
what a
pretty good.
weird crossover.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Okay.
my fun
So we
fact.
need to figure out who currently does owl and the ghosts on Scooby-Doo, and that's who
I
can
believe it's Stoika, isn't it?
Oh, is he still
it-
doing
is it-
owl?
I think he is owl still.
All right.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out who's going to succeed him there, and
Yeah.
that's the
You're
right
right.
word.
Yeah.
And then that person can also take over for Wit in the future.
Yeah. I don't think Andre is really.
It's just,
he's not my
I
Mr.
mean,
Whitaker.
he's probably a real nice guy.
He is.
He's
probably
just
one of
not my wit, It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's still doing Owl.
Okay,
That's
he's still
the
doing
most
Owl.
recent.
Oh,
the most recent. Well, in Kingdom Hearts 2, 2007. I don't know if there's. been
Yeah,
a
no,
newer
I mean,
Winnie
there's
the Pooh
probably
thing.
Winnie Pooh that's.
Newer than that.
Yeah, I assume Winnie the Pooh is still going on. So what's the most recent Winnie the Pooh, Andrew?
So what I'm seeing is Andre Stoika voiced Owl in the Tigger movie. So in that
Right.
era of Winnie the Pooh,
Correct.
we're talking,
He did about
yeah, yeah.
2000
early to late
2007.
aughts.
Right.
Pooh.
So who now?
I believe Stoika was in the Winnie the Pooh movie, but what Winnie the Pooh properties have been put out since the
I know there was
Pooh
that-
film
that-
of 2011.
There was that. Yeah, there
Right,
was
the
that.
Christopher Robin. Or?
Christopher Robin was out.
Sure.
What? Okay, I'm gonna look up Christopher Robin. Who played Owl and Christopher Robin? This is really great. It's probably somebody famous.
I was gonna say.
It's probably just somebody that they just got to be.
I mean, are there
Is
even
Owl
enough?
even in it?
Well, if
know.
Owl's
Has
in it,
anybody-
is
has
there
anybody-
enough? Like, does Owl have enough in the way of lines that they didn't
That it
just
would even
reuse audio?
That's true. Do they? That's what I.
Oh, it's Toby Jones.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
yes.
So, yes.
Oh yeah. No
So, yes,
way.
they
Toby
did just
Jones
cast
is
someone
yes, somebody
famous.
famous. Yeah.
Yep. So next, Mr. Whitaker is going to be Toby Jones. You heard it here first, folks.
That's terrifying.
Wad Fam Chalk Pod
Well,
exclusive.
hopefully it leads him to the Lord.
Yeah. Hey, if that's what it takes.
Oh man. All right. So this brings us to the end then.
The end of our fine journey
Isaac.
here this evening.
What would you like to plug?
Tell me all about the
as you've
trucks.
heard, The Illusion, I review pickup trucks and other cars, but mostly pickup trucks on YouTube. When I was 14 years old, I wanted to be an actor, and so I went to a website to come up with a name. So I clicked this random name generator, and Alpha Shark came up, and I went, "That sounds tight. That's really cool."
This is it.
And pictures, like Sony Pictures and stuff.
Yeah,
So I went, Alpha Shark Pictures. That's going to be the name of my YouTube channel. And so I made it, and we did some short films on there. If you scroll way back, you can see 14-year-old Isaac doing short films.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And but then I bought a pickup truck, and after community college, I reviewed it.
Yeah.
And that video blew up. And I started going to dealerships, and I said, "Hey, can I review your cars?" And so
Yeah.
that's what I do as a side gig now while I'm at college. Huge blessing. Pays for my college, actually.
That's huge. That's awesome.
It's totally from God, because I
Yeah.
was like, how am I going to pay for this? And I took the leap of faith, signed up, And now this pays exactly, almost every month, it's exactly what I need for college, which is crazy.
See, Connie, you could have done this.
You
Yes.
could have reviewed trucks instead.
Yeah. That is really funny because every time somebody's like, I don't know how I'm going to make money, I go, just start a pickup truck review YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It
yeah.
Obviously
totally
the
worked
first
out.
choice.
Yeah.
So you can find me on YouTube at Alpha Shark Pictures. That's actually my only social media. I deleted all my other stuff.
Hey,
Wow.
you know, that's probably
really.
to the
Alright.
benefit of your mental health.
It is. It's actually been really good. I can like go outside and I'm like, wow, the birds are singing.
The world is not on fire all the time.
Yeah.
Man,
When
but
I-
then where are you going to promote this episode, man?
On
No, I'm-
YouTube.
I'm-
on
I'm-
YouTube.
I'm
That's
on
that's
YouTube.
the only
Fully
people we
Yes.
care about.
Oh yes, my YouTube audience. I don't
yes.
have an audience on anything else. People keep telling me to make a TikTok.
What do you call a
but
baby
I
shark?
won't.
Oh, well,
Baby shark.
do.
Yeah, that's what you
But
call
is
it.
there a
It goes do.
Are you trying to come up with what his audience name should be? What's-
yeah? Like what?
The
do you-
Sharklings.
The shark.
Oh,
essentially.
no.
Yeah.
So my audience, if anyone from my audience is listening, hi. I know because I can see the infographics. Is mostly middle-aged men, so
That's
they
right.
are not going to want to be called
They're
my
not gonna be-
sharklings.
No, this is perfect.
Oh, they're called pups. Baby sharks are called pups. I think I do that.
I
All
just
right.
call them guys. Like,
Yes.
hey guys,
Hey guys.
thanks guys.
Yep, that works.
Like a normal human. But thank you for having me on. This
Oh,
is
absolutely. Thanks for coming
so
on.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Always
Thank you so
always a
much
good
for-
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
making
glad
this
to see
happen.
it's still alive because when I'm with friends or whatever, occasionally we'll make an Adventures in Odyssey reference. And I'm like, oh, you remember that episode?
Yeah.
Like literally all the time, somebody will overspend on their credit card, and we'll be like, "Don't be Connie.
Don't be Connie.
Like
Don't
so
overspend on your
often.
credit card.
And
Yeah, we will. I don't know. Maybe we'll cover that one someday.
well, if you ever,
The
that
old
would be a
Connie
great episode
spends
to
too
cover.
much money. Haha.
I will come back for that one if you need
yeah.
someone. If I can't have to search for wit, come on.
Well, you know, I mean, we can't. I'm not going to speak for the future, but you certainly can't get all three parts at the very. We're thinking.
But it's cool to see you guys are doing this, which really
Hey,
encourages
yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm a big
Pleasure
fan
having
of
you
Dylan.
on.
Well, thank you.
All right, and with all that being said, we will be back next week with another episode and another guest. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Wadfam Chalk Pod is a presentation of the Lidditz Podcast Co-op. This show is a fan podcast and has no official affiliation with Adventures in Odyssey or Focus on the Family. As such, the copyright is ours under Creative Commons. Follow the podcast at wadfamchalkpod on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at wadfamchalkpod@gmail.com. Do or Diet was hosted by Dylan Weaver and Andrew Acebo, with special guest Isaac Zimmerman. It was edited by Dylan Weaver. And I'm Nathan Haverstick, hoping you'll join us again next time for more of the Wadfam Chalk Pod.